Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most reverential pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba. It's my pleasure again to bring you another episode of his story through the eyes of his boys. And let us start this episode with a prayer. O Lord, take my love and let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. O Lord, take my hands and let them work incessantly for Thee. O Lord, take my soul and let it be merged in one with Thee. O Lord, take my mind and thoughts and let them be in tune with Thee. O Lord, take my everything and let me be an instrument to work for Thee. Om Shri Sai Ram and welcome back. Bhagwan has given so much in so many ways. In this journey of exploring Bhagwan's life and his blessings on us as a student and through the educational institutions, today I have the pleasure of sharing with you the story of the sports, how the sports started and how it became an integral part of educational life. And for that, I have four brothers who would join me today. So, without wasting any more time, let me start introducing you one by one to our brothers on this panel today. So, first, Brother Srinivas Rao, Sai Ram and welcome.
Sairam, brother. Sairam to everybody.
Brother, before we start, may I request you to please start this program with a beautiful bhajan of your choice.
Oh, thank you so much. I offer my most humble pranams at the Lotus Feet of Swami, and I thank you all for giving me the opportunity to be part of this panel today. I will want to sing one song which is very dear to me. It's a very old bhajan, but not sung often. I remember I sang this once in the presence of Swami in the bhajan hall. So I'll sing this song for you.
Please.
जगतो धारा साईश्वरा जगतो धारा साईश्वरा बरसो हम पर प्रेम की धारा बरसो हम पर प्रेम की धारा जगतो धारा साईश्वरा सकल जगत में नाम तुम्हारा सकल जगत में नाम तुम्हारा भक्तों के तुम एक सहारा भक्तों के तुम एक सहारा जगतो धारा साईश्वरा. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Srinivas. Let me take this pleasure of introducing you a little bit. Brother A. Srinivas Rao is blessed to be from a devotee's family. So he has seen Bhagwan from a very, very childhood state. He joined as a student in 1979 and probably has done all the courses that Bhagwan started in those days, be it master's course, MBA, or diploma in computer sciences. He spent wonderful proximity of Bhagwan. Presently, he works as a senior manager, finance and accounting in Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, that is Super Speciality Hospital, Prashantinilayam. So, welcome once again, brother, on this beautiful program of ours, his story through the eyes of his voice.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
May I
Um,
request you to say a few words as your introduction of your life before coming to Bhagwan, and how did you, get as a student?
sure, sure. Our family actually came into the Sai fold uh, from the mid 60s, and I was just born then. And we are five brothers and one sister. And we have been coming to Puttaparthi from ever since my childhood. And my mother says that she used to carry myself and my younger brother in her arms and bring us to Puttaparthi. And I have been always for the years from, I think I remember vaguely from 1969 or 70, when I was just about 5 or 6 years old. From that time my memory is alive actually, of my memories with Puttaparthi. And I love this place so much from my childhood that I come every time to play in the sands of Puttaparthi, to play in Chitravati, and of course to see Swami. And from the childhood, my mother guided us to this Bhagavan, who has become part of our life. It's no longer, it's actually, it was earlier, um, we were thinking it is Swami who is separate from us. Then Swami taught us that he is in us. And now we have come to the evolutionary stage where we no longer exist, it's only him. So this has been our journey actually. So I have good memories of seeing the olden days, Shivratris, the Lingodbhavams, the Vijay Dashami, the Vibhuti manifestations the Swami used to do on the Vijay Dashami day.
I believe you came alone to join Puttaparthi as a young
Yeah,
boy.
there is a small little background to this. My father and mother have been coming to Puttaparthi almost every year. Then in the year 1977, they happened to stay on for a little while after the birthday. And Swami gave them an interview first time. And during that interview, Swami told my father that you are going to retire next year, right? So you come down here with your family and settle down. My father said, Swami, I still have two children studying in the school, like that. Then Swami said, yeah, they can study in my college here. And in 1977, there was no college and there was no English medium school also. And my father wrote a letter to us saying that Swami said this. And we were very enthusiastic and jumping and euphoric. But all this euphoria was forgotten in the 2 years' time because I was still in 8th standard and my brother was in 7th standard. So in 1979, when I just finished my 10th standard, something occurred to me that I should go from here because Swami said that he will educate us in his college. So I should start off from here. And I took off from there all alone with some little guidance. Of course, it was planned at home. And it takes 2.5 days actually to reach Puttaparthi from my place. And I just don't know what made me travel all the way alone. I came to Puttaparthi, I found Swami is not here. And then my sister was here who just finished her BSc course in Anantapur. She guided me to go to Brindavan. And in Brindavan, Swami was just preparing for summer courses there. And summer course is a month-long schedule there. And that was my first interaction with Swami. I used to sit for the darshans in the Sairam shed. And Swami used to talk to me. I used to give a letter almost every day because we just want to have some contact with Swami. And
I know things will happen, and we will like to look forward and hearing you more.
yeah,
And so let me introduce other brother, and we'll bring back, and we'll come back and take the story forward from there.
sure, sure, sure.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah.
So let me bring in another brother of ours, Jayanth Puttapa. Sairam, brother Jayanth, and welcome to the show.
Sairam, Abhimanyu, Sairam, everybody. My grateful salutations at Swami's feet, Lotus Feet. Sairam.
Brother Jayanth, let me take this opportunity to introduce you a little bit. Brother Jayanth also has a background of Sai devotee parents. He joined Puttaparthi in 1982 and did his BSc and then went on to do his master's. And later on, he proceeded further to do his PhD from Indian Institute of Sciences. And presently, he's in Chicago. He works as an IT in the IT department, as senior manager. And Jayant, brother, I know it's too early morning for you there, but thank you very much for taking time and joining us. So please tell us something about yourself too, how you came to Bhagwan.
Thank you very much, Abhimanyu Kaul. Abhimanyu, I remember, is 2 years junior to me. It was wonderful for having me here along with other brothers. Yes, I'm in Chicago. It's not too early. It's it's about 10 minutes, 12 minutes past 8 in the morning. And I've got used to waking up at 5:30, which is probably the way I have been brought up and nurtured and Prashant.
Wonderful.
I have not missed that single day that I woke up at after 5:30, even on weekends. So that is basically what I would say, that it has just been inbuilt and imbibed in my physical body and in my psyche that I wake up that early. So basically, just to make it a little bit brief about my introduction, which is very humble, but my father was way back in 60s, even before he was married as a young boy, he just jumped into he was in Bangalore, he jumped into one of those group of devotees, whatever they call, he wasn't aware where they're going, in a sense that he wasn't aware of Bhagwan, that got into this Matador. It's called Matador. It's basically a minivan. I don't think that exists anymore. Got into Prashant in LA. I mean, from Puttaparthi, these days it takes only about 3 to 4 hours journey. Those days it was much longer, and that he saw Bhagwan for the first time, and Bhagwan gave him a photograph and said, keep it in your prayer room, and did not say that you need to worship him. Nothing. And then it just went off. There was a total blank period. Nothing happened till we used to just see that small photo of Swami, realizing that he's somebody, he's in Puttaparthi, he walks, he talks, he eats, and then he performs miracles. So, and our childhood faith had nothing else than to accept him as the Surupa of Vishnu, because that's what my parents told me, and all of us got into that inculcated habit of saying, okay, he's Vishnu. And then one fine morning, we were all in summer vacation. My father said, why don't we just make summer vacation this time to Puttaparthi? We have been going to our village back in all these years. Why not something different? Let's go to Puttaparthi and let's spend some time. And we were all like thrilled. It was not actually summer, it was more like Dashra time. And that's the first time when I was in my 7th standard, I went and saw Swami and the procession, the elephant, the decoration. I was awed and felt so grateful that I was in that. And the time when I actually talked back to my father not to leave this place. But every vacation has to end. We had to come back. And this is where our journey started. And then somehow, again, there was a blank period. When I was in 10th, I was back studying in Tamil Nadu. And when I went again with my full family, I saw these students, these white and white, and that sort of so much, they were all flying around like doves around Swami without making a flutter. It was so beautiful for me to see this. And then I was totally engrossed with both the relationship with Swami and the students. And that's when I said, okay, I need to study in this college. And my father said, no, it is not that easy. You have to be a great devotee and you have to be smart too, which probably he was thinking that I was neither. And that's probably where it is. And then at 12th standard, after my what's called 10+2 from a CBSE school, Kendriya Vidyalaya school, I wrote the entrance exam, and I said, Dad, I think I did well. And he said, no, it's not about what you do. You should have faith, and more than faith, you have to be in one in thousands of those students would be chosen. Even if you don't get it, it's all right, because my father had none of us had any sort of feeling that I'll be joining that college because I was not worth it. Let me put it. At least that's what my parents thought. But I got into this college. But in the meantime, there was one interesting thing that when I was somewhere in my 10th grade, Swami was walking and I was sitting along with the devotees and there was beautiful sand. You can call it white sand, you can call it brown sand. There was beautiful sand there. And I put my feet down, my palms down on the sand and Swami stepped on it and then Swami stood for a few seconds and that few seconds was almost like an hour for me. I was pressing, kissing, and taking Paramahansa like 10 times. And my father was sitting at the back and was watching, how did he get that chance there? But then I got a Padnamskar. And just to go back a little more into this, when I joined Bharti, I was so thrilled. But for 2 years, Swami did not know that I existed. He didn't come to me, he did not come near me. It was just like, I thought I'm going to get somewhere into a revolution. I'll be a spiritual leader. I'll put on some beautiful decorative ornaments and start preaching. But that was nothing happened with that. I was just an ordinary boy sitting in a corner yearning, Swami, you gave me a Padnamaskar when I was not a student. Now you're totally ignoring me. And that yearning was just, churning up in my heart and say, what do you want me to do differently? And I could not compete with bhajan singers, so that's why I never sang the bhajan and let Srinivas sing. I know you didn't even give me a chance to sing, that is okay. And then I was sitting back and then just wondering what it is and I should do differently, that I am one in those 1,000 that Swami will recognize and then move from here. And I'm here as a sports person and the event of how this journey of a student, university, highest qualification degree, and an integral part of sports. That's basically where I wanted to.
I think everybody goes through that silent treatment with Bhagwan. So probably you started with that, and then you had a wonderful journey after that. So welcome back. Thank you very much for joining, and I'm sure we're going to hear much more from you today. So thank you once again. Let me bring in our brother Prabal. Prabal Bhaiya, thank you very much for
Sairam,
joining us
Sairam
again.
Abhimanyu.
Sairam. Just a short introduction again for you. Dr. Prabal Mall is a learning consultant, and he is presently based in Pondicherry. He was also a member of the first batch of the university from 1979. He has been always a first ranker and a gold medalist, a very humble person per se. So I'm really, really thrilled and happy to have you back, Bhaiya. So welcome again on this show. Sairam.
Sairam Abhimanyu.
You want to say a few words?
Yeah, so probably in this episode, we are going to discuss about how Swami encouraged sports and it grew over years. And we'll talk about our experiences of sports and how Swami made us a part of those and how Swami grew it further. So that now what you see is has got some very humble beginnings, but now it has become a grand function, which is an important part of the Sai calendar in Prashanti Nilayam.
Lovely. Let me also bring in Brother Ashok Anand. Sairam, Brother Ashok Anand.
Sairam Abhimanyu.
Thanks for joining us again. A short introduction to you again. Brother Ashok Anand is also an educationist. He's a professor in management studies based in Bangalore. He also was a member of the first batch of university from 79 onwards. He did his bachelor's and master's from the Prashanti Nilayam campus. So welcome back, Ashok Bhaiya.
Thank you, Abhimanyu, for having me again on this platform to share the lovely moments with Swami and all the experiences that we had with the Lord. Yeah.
Thank you. So let me bring back all our brothers now. And I would like to start off this conversation on our sports. So as I said to you before, viewers, that today we are going to see the genesis, the origination of how the sport started in our campuses and how Bhagwan very strategically has a master plan in which he sows the seed in somebody's head and mind and allows it to flourish and gives the credit to all his boys and sits back and enjoys the glory along with us. So, as we jump into this session, may I ask any one of you, maybe Ashok, we start off the journey and tell us how this whole drama of sports started in our campuses.
Yeah. So let me just basically start with this as such. We are in the world of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now, I rephrase this into our life as Sai student. There is divine intelligence, that is Swami, who will take care of all our thoughts, and there is our Sai learning, which is our experiences. So, machine learning basically picks up everything on on the experiences and gives the information which is right based on artificial intelligence. Our experiences now. I'm talking why mentioning this is I'm going back close to 40 years, 79. It's a long time. So therefore, right, offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. All right, Swami, please guide us to tell us for us all to share the lovely experiences that we had as students as such. I'm going back to 1979 where the Prashanti Nilayam campus started. Now, earlier in the episodes, we have said that when the Prashanti Nilayam campus came into existence, we had no hostel and we all stayed in the mandir. Now, sports and Swami had actually no co-relationship is what our belief was. And this was a belief which existed throughout the whole institutional or the structure. Even the hierarchy at the top believed, or the professors and the management believed that sports and Swami had no relationship. So sports was actually held when Swami was not there. That means we used to have sports in our first year, 1979, and right, even in the 80s as such, when Swami went to Brindavan. So when Swami went to Brindavan, then the sports used to happen. Otherwise, sports will not happen. Now, how is the sports over there as such? All right, and just recall re-mentioning the fact that we were studying in the Ishwarama school. That was our college as such. Now, from the windows of the Ishwarama school, we were able to see the grounds, the open yards behind Ishwarama school. And at the end of the horizon, there is a huge hill, all right, a rock and a hill formation. And this open ground was actually sloping down. It was full of boulders. But at the same time, they were all right. There was some work started after a few months. There were a bulldozer which was trying to level and all right make a ground out of it as such. But there was absolutely no ground. But with due credit to be given, all right, we were using the school sports, and there were only three sports, if I can remember rightly. One was Coco, right? Because there was this bar, and then there was this volleyball court, which the school and the teachers used to play, and then there was this ball badminton court. Now, the ball badminton is a game which is popular in Karnataka as well as in Andhra Pradesh, not very popular in the other parts of it. This is something which most of our students used to play, and then the grounds were not ready. But then after a few months, all right, when the ground started, then came the first game that we used to play was football. It's telling here that we made the grounds, we were involved in making of the grounds. I remember that I was personally involved in making the cricket pitch because I had this civil engineering background because father was from civil engineering. So we dug up, there were some helpers. So I got the measurement done, dug up the whole thing, put bricks underneath, and then made the mud. And there was there was one roller at the end of it. So we used to roll that. Fortunately, there was a roller, and all of us would go about rolling it, and that's how the grounds came. All right. I just want to mention here before I hand over somebody else to add on that we had no footwear. Most of us, we did not have any shoes. So some of us used to still play barefoot on that rocky and all right pebbled grounds, which was always sloping downwards, right from the hill down. So that's how the genesis of the sports was ground was laid as such. So I
So
think Srinivas can add
I'm
something
seeing
here.
you're all working here without the footwear, obviously here. So this is the cleaning of the stadium going on.
Actually, I remember I was member of this group actually, and we used to finish our classes in the evenings and then go back to the ground and start this work till late in the nights. We used to work. We prepared the ground for ourselves to go and play well. Otherwise, we used to get injured very often.
Yeah. So if you
So
actually, yeah, can
so
I
how did the
continue?
game? So yeah,
Yeah,
sure, please.
I'm coming to the game part of it. Now we're talking about 1979, the first year. It's not that there were no games in the first year. Now there were games in the first year, and there was one football as far as the games were concerned. All right, I just want to mention here that we did not have a physical director at that time. There was
Yeah,
no physical director. So that means the onus actually fell on some of us who were sports enthusiasts. And there was, of course, some of our professors who were little interested in sports, not very much. And the sports was only on Sundays. It was not on any other day. So this is how it used to be there. Morning after breakfast, we used to run. This is at the time, I'm just reminding that the time when Swami was not there. He had to go, when Swami went off to Brindavan, which he used to do quite often. Thanks to Swami, we used to say for the game's sake, right? And then Sunday after breakfast, we used to go, right? Then we would go about playing cricket. And then there was one, our pavilion was at the end on the, where the Shanti Niketan was there was one tree. All right. There was, and just imagine Puttaparthi, there was one tree and so that's how the games were actually started. And football used to be played, and that was quite famous because we had very good football players. There's some people from Malaysia. I remember there was one, all right, person called Kemchan, and I remember one kick. All right, we call it the Beckham kick. The ball, it was a corner kick. It went inside directly into the goal post. So they were really very good, all right, football players. That's how the games initially started.
yeah. And I remember that there used to be a good mix of intermediate students and degree college students, and we used to divide these players and the students into four different groups, like named after various rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Saraswati, and the teams had equal number of good performers. There used to be among the students very good athletes, footballers, table tennis players, cricketers, and to tell you one more thing, some of the leaders of these houses were very close to Swami, and these boys, they were so exemplary in their behavior that most of the students used to idolize them and take them as role models and worthy role models at that. And because they used to come, they used to work with Swami in his rooms, and such to associate with them and then play with them was itself a learning experience for all the children. That's
I
what was
guess
unique.
because most of the time we felt that maybe I'm just throwing a thought that maybe because Swami is there, so darshan was more important than doing anything else. So
Yeah,
only time we had full time to play was when Swami was physically away from the campus.
yeah. And those
So I
days,
guess
Swami used to go to often to Brindavan actually, and it's sometimes like 15 days or even 1 month, and he will come back again. So that's the only time we used to play. Otherwise, rest of the time we used to be spending our time in the mandir in veranda,
darshan.
interactions with Swami.
So I believe in 1981 or 82, correct me, you had the first intramural some competition without Bhagwan. What was that story when he got to know about it and the things changed?
Oh, before that, I will tell you there were two things which I would like to tell here. One was that, all right, the naming of the Hillview Stadium. It's a very interesting anecdote that is there, how the Hillview
Sure.
Stadium name came up. So
Yes,
there, we had this evening cricket, I mean, these cricket matches, we used to sit under the tree. And all of us used to basically have that shadow of the right hill coming on us. So it was somewhere in the 80s, a little later, that right, a group of us said, okay, let's write something and we'll name the stadium. There was no stadium, all right, it was just rock. Wrote it with chalk. There was a few group of us. and then one was able to climb up. So we gave him chalk, and he wrote Hillview Stadium, and
So you
that's how
climbed
it.
on the mountain top to write it.
Yeah, we just wrote it with chalk on the Hillview as a Hillview Stadium as such. So it
Let me show you
actually,
a picture. Yeah.
yeah. So that's how we actually wrote it with the chalk. Then this is with limestone. I'll come to that story, right, which you asked as such. The other one which I wanted to tell you as such, in the 1980, right, 81, when we shifted to the hostel. There was a brother, Ravi Shankar. He is actually the brother of Radhakrishna. He was a very big sports enthusiast, and he was a basketball fanatic. So he took it upon himself that we have to get the basketball court done. So we all started working on the basketball court. If you remember, Abhimanyu, it was just behind hostel kitchen, the basketball court.
Yes.
The
Yes.
bas the basketball court was made totally by the students. The funding also was done by the students, and right, I have to give credit to late Ravi Shankar. Right, he's no more with us, but he financed the major part of it. We got the frame fabricated. We had a carpenter who made the board, and everything was fixed up. Now this happened, and then once this was a big event which we had. Now you all know, and all of us in the my brothers understand that we want to show off something to Swami, because if we have to tell Swami something, so he will come and bless us, give us grace and all. So therefore we tested, right? Like Srinivas was telling that some of the sports enthusiasts were also doing the door duty. We pestered them as well as our warden, Mr. Nityanand Menon. Sir, you have to call Swami to see the basketball court. So this for some time. Okay, this was the first game ever in my knowledge of so many, and I verified ever in front of the students playing a game in front of Swami. Swami agreed. Now you right, so we divided the whole hostel into two groups. Right, so there was a mix of the students, and actually, I think it was PG versus UG because the UG basketball team was pretty big, and then Swami came and we put up a Shamyana. He spent the whole of that. I think you have the photograph of that as such. Okay, the whole of that match he was there watching us, and he enjoyed every time. That is the first time that ever a game was played, and then we played in front of Swami, and then I can remember. Right, I was not a great basketball player. This right basketball with Swami. The picture is there. Right, two picture of that as such. Okay, I think you can show it. And then I can remember my part of it as such. I was not a great basketball player. In fact, I learned basketball in Prashanti Nilayam only. So everybody was given an opportunity. I got an opportunity. To my luck, I put a basket. And Swami was amazed because he was a little shocked, saying that this fellow also can play basketball. I cannot forget that, right? That smile and that surprise that Swami had on his face when I put the basket. It was such a lovely moment of my life. I cannot forget it at all. And then we had the group photograph, and then I have actually got the photograph signed by Swami. It's an autographed one. So that was the first game ever in front of Swami, the basketball game.
Can I
So
add
wonderful.
something here?
Yes.
In this
Yes, sure. Please,
basketball
please go on.
match,
Yes.
during this basketball match, the scores were actually going up and down. One team was winning, another team was losing, and Swami was little restless. Like, one team losing, another team winning, and every time other team leveled the scores, and Swami used to be very relaxed. Ah, good. And then it happened topsy-turvy for some time, and again their lead increased a bit between the two teams. Then he again impatiently waited for the other team to level up. The moment the three-pointer score was scored, basket was scored, and the scores were level, Swami got up. They said, "Yes, I am happy with this. No winner, no loser." Swami always likes that actually. Do you remember, sir? Ashok, sir?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Abhi, you are able to locate the photo, it would be nice, because I just wanted to say it was the first time we also played sports. This is the first game in front of Swami. and we were all wearing shorts, right? And right, playing in front of Swami. We actually didn't even worry whether Swami would be right, happy, not happy, us wearing shorts or something like that. Swami didn't say anything, and Swami was so very happy. That actually triggered a thought in all the students that wearing shorts in front of Swami was okay. Yeah, this is the photograph. Right, there's the Shamyana at the side. By that time, we had a physical director, wonderful person, Mr. Venkatesh. All credit of the sports development in Prashanti Nilayam should be given to this, this Sir Venkatesh sir, and all students just loved him. And he had this beautiful dialogues of his own, and everybody would carry those. I'm sure, Avi, you also have these lovely memories of
We have
Mr.
great memories with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was the empire, all right, referee there. Tribhuvan was the referee, and all the rest. I'm the one holding the basketball and sitting right there as such. So this is the all of us are wearing shorts. The person wearing all right, trousers is the referee.
Yeah.
And Swami was very happy. You can see he's so very thrilled and happy. All right. So that is the first time we realized that Swami likes sports.
Yeah. Very true. Well said.
Yeah. That was the first time that our realization were there on the sports as such. This set off, all right, another but this thing. Now we actually came. I'm just continuing, Abhi, because I was involved in the sports
Sure, sure, please.
right functioning and
Yeah,
the whole
tell us that story of
organization.
how
I
the
was
whole event happened. Yes, yes.
Now it was in all right. We used to have this intramural games after the institution came. All right, the institution came in 1982, where we got the university status. Then we started having the intramural games. So this became a slightly problematic for our intermediate students as such, because they were not getting involved. This was only between the degree students, but we still till that time we had this group I mean these teams which were there, as what Srinivas has said. Groups were created, and then we went on. Then there were I mean 3 or 4 of us who were sports enthusiasts in organizing. So we went up to Gokak sir and said, the vice chancellor then, he was the first vice chancellor, a great gentleman. I mean, it's honor and a privilege for having been a student. I mean, such a fantastic human being and so intelligent. So we used to go to his office. Getting an appointment with him was very different. I remember we actually approached the registrar sir, Chakravarti sir, and Chakravarti sir said, "This is not under my this thing. You will have to approach the VC." So we went to the VC sir, and then we all right went 2 days, I remember. And the second day he asked us, he gave us an appointment, and we said, "Sir, we want an annual sports day. We want to conduct one annual sports day in which we want you to be the chief guest." Right? Which he said, "Okay, I'll get back to you on the date as to when you can have, all right, to give me a proposal." So we went and gave a proposal. Sir, we will have, you'll do the flag hoisting, march past, and so on, and things like that. Because, right, then he agreed. And you see that it had to be held at a time when Swami is not there in Prashanti Nilayam. Right, so the appropriate time when Swami was not there in Prashanti Nilayam, the games took place. We had the annual sports day, and then after the annual sports day, we had a great function and everything relating to that. 3 or 4 days back, later, Swami came, and that evening in the darshan, he came out, and the first thing he said, "You had games, all right? You
Without
all
me.
had games." Yeah, you got the right, without me, and you don't want Swami to come. And he was looking at me and telling this. Of course, he was addressing all the students, but I could see the eyes on me as such. Then we were a little, and we all said, "No, Swami, we will have it," and all. But Swami just walked out for darshan and all. That day evening, our warden, Mr. Nityanand Menon, came, and he called those 2 people, myself and another right person, and said, Swami is keen that he wants these games to be done. How long will it take for you? He said, "Sir, give us 2 days. We will do the same event once again. Total, right? It was a total repeat of what we did for Gokak sir, it was basically a total repeat. All right, at that time, all right, thanks to Venkatesh sir, because I will not stop thanking him. He is a person who had this great ability to organize people as such. So we had actually made a temporary, right, podium. If you, I think a temporary podium, and this was facing back of the Ishwaramba school, facing the hill, and
Yeah.
then we put on the tracks and everything was arranged, and then we had right, a guard of honor, two people doing the slow march which was there to lead Swami when he had come. Then there would be a flag hoisting, and then all those was planned, and then Swami came. I think you can show the pictures, Avi, and then right, the narration
Yeah,
can.
I want Prabal Bhaiya to enter and tell us about that. How the next phase happened. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think. Ah,
yeah, yes, yes. So this is,
Ashok, this is what you're talking about,
Yeah,
brother Ashok.
this is the
You talk.
event. Swami had come, and the first two boys are the ones who led Swami towards it. Their slow march, which Venkatesh sir taught. Me and Venkatesh sir are the ones who are basically helping Swami to host this thing. And there's another, and then all right, the march past took place. And you know how the inauguration, the games got opened. I gave two right pigeons, white pigeons, into Swami's hand, and Swami left it. And then the games were declared open, and then the games were done. So we had few games organized, right?
I
For
would like I would like the audience to hear that. What are the sports item that it was started with?
yeah.
They're
So
quite
since
funny.
Yeah, since we had a very short period of time, right? We right 1 hour or so. Professor Gokak said we couldn't ask Swami to be there for a long time, right? So anyway, we said Swami would be there for some time, whatever it is. So we organized 100 meters dash because that was possible. Then we had a relay, 4 into 100 meters relay. Then we had a lemons and spoon race, and then there was a fat boys race. And here I want to or I tell one anecdote of mine. Now I was the official there, and I got a certificate written because that was a certificate I want to receive from Swami. So I got a official certificate written over there. And then Swami sent immediately. I saw Nityanand. We were getting ready, and everybody was standing. And Nityanand came running to me. Swami had sent some message. He said, "Swami wants you to run the race." For a moment, I said, "Am I so fat that I should run the race?" Anyway, that's Swami's order. And I looked at Swami and he was looking at me. So we had no other choice. I went and took part in that particular race. And this is the certificate. And that is the lovely present, that prize that I won. All right. That's box. I
I
still have
I
it with.
can't get over the word fatty race.
Yeah. Right. So Swami gave the prizes, right? I think Srinivas has got an episode to share because he also took part here. So then we'll
I
come to
have
the prize distribution.
I have very, very good fond memories of one particular incident where I was part of a 4 into 100 meters relay race in front of Swami, and I ran in shorts. I can't even believe these days that I could do that in front of Swami. And actually, we were four teams actually, and the race was on, and our team was coming second, and there was one more team led by one brother, senior brother, whose name is Venkateshwar Rao. He's a very good athlete, very good basketball player. So his team was leading, and suddenly towards the last lap, this boy skidded because the surface was not very good those days, as we said. So this boy skidded, and our team, led by our group leader, it overtook and won the race. And as you saw that podium there, that prize where we stand for first, second, and third, I was on the top of it. Four of us were standing on the number one bench. And the Swami came for a photograph with us. And then the first thing Swami said was, "Hey, you won because the other boy fell down." But that's a rule. It allowed us to win the race unjustifiably. But the boy was so happy that he won Swami's heart. that Swami remembered him. So that was a very good message here. And then also I got a prize for this actually. And so beautifully, Swami used to maintain eye contact with all the students. He knows every participant who is participating in what, and he recognizes them. So after winning the prize, what we do is the prize distribution is held in the college auditorium, and that's sometime in the evening time. And soon after the program is over, Swami comes back to Mandir where the bhajans are going on. And we students also rush immediately. We don't want to miss one chance of so. So we come to Mandir and sit in front. I sat right in front there. Swami got down from the car. Immediately he spotted me and said, "Hey, you got a prize." See, it's not to talk about myself, but it is the experience of everybody. How beautifully Swami recognizes each one's little activity or whatever he has contributed, and that encourages a lot actually. That these are
I
the
think
two.
that is what led into the whole system, that maximum participation was encouraged.
Yeah,
So, like the whole school and college would be participating in something or
Yeah.
other, because we knew that Swami is going to give something, by his hand. That
you're
was so
right.
beautiful.
Yeah, but talking about maximum participation, the next phase of this talk should come about that, where
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prabal will talk.
Yeah. Just
Brother
two
Jayanth,
things
you
I would
had
like.
you had an experience with the prize distribution part.
Yeah, this is going to come at some point on price distribution, but
Yeah.
again, I just want to make it clear that this time Puttapati was a village. So what simply implies is the colleges then became slowly into a university, and that I was the first batch of integrated master's program. It's a university. By exact time, where village, the Halli or Palli, whatever we call it in Andhra language, became a taluka. And that was a celebration where everybody says, okay, here is a journey from a village to a township. And the college became a university. This is basically where I want to now just jump in and say, what was a sports event, what my seniors were all involved in, and how Swami was jumping in. Today, when I recollect, I was the first batch of integrated masters, which means we join our bachelor's and join into the master's program. Our batch was the first batch for compulsory sports. So it was not on Sundays, it was on regular days, twice a day. We should not go to the mandir for bhajans or darshan, but we should be able to get in to get the sports. And if I see, and Abhimanyu, you also can correct me that if there's nothing different here. If you see every semester our certificates, top is a university name, then the first section is extracurricular activity. And
Yes.
these are the things, then comes the academics. So this is where I want to say that something which I want to just join in. Yes, it's all sports we are talking about, but Swami was giving a value for integrated life, which infuses sports in the mainstream, made it compulsory. He says, I don't care for you boys, you got to play twice a day, twice a week, even if you have to miss darshan and bhajan. So this was a beautiful message that I want to come and communicate to you. And Abhimanyu, I'm sure you're also part of it. On next generations, we all know that ours was the saying that seriousness in sports, as much you have fun in
But I'm
sports.
happy to hear the story of how it started and what struggle they had to go through to do that. But in our time, I remember Swami giving us incentive for playing. He would say, "Go and play. I'll come and give darshan." So we had that phase also when he would come on a drive to stadium during our sports time. So we will be playing, and suddenly Swami's car will come, and we'll pause, and we'll take it forward. So let us take the journey forward. So next
Just
phase, when you had the first sports, yes, brother.
I just want two things to be mentioned here. These are very important in the whole development of the sports or this thing. During the same time when the basketball court was made, the gym in the hostel started. Right, we started establishing the gymnasium in the hostel, and there were a few gym enthusiasts. Prabal would know his good friend Vansheshgir Rao. He was so enthusiastic about it, and there was this Sridhar Giridhar. I was there, and then there was Yoginand Kumar. In fact, we funded to got the gym made because this was also very important for us to be physically involved in it. Okay, and The other thing which I want to actually state during the prize distribution, right? Now, this prize distribution, all right, Swami said, all right, so the program was, I'm going back to the annual sports day, and then Swami said that I will give the prizes. I will send the prizes. And then the prizes came, and our warden, Mr. Nityanand, came with a couple of boxes filled with prizes. And you know what the prizes were? Pencil boxes, and the box that I got, and then perfume, all right, aftershave lotion, things, And all right, today when I look back, right, when I look back at it, if I had a cup, it would have gone into some shelf. But I have got a box in which I keep all Swami's things. It is there with me. It is too personally attached to me. It is there 40 years. I still maintain it, keep it all right, very clean. Now it dawns on to me, Swami never, what he did, there was always something forethought in his doing. And then he blessed me, okay, in the end, because this is what is very important, that he, after the show, and then when the prize, I think there's one photograph of Swami blessing me. The message there, you know what Swami said? He told me, all right, Chala Bhagatesta Bangaru, and then he patted. That is the ultimate, for all the things what you do. Here is the Lord who is acknowledging, that is the most beautiful. And I just want to tell about Swami here, that Swami would never wear any footwear to the sports ground. He would come with his beautiful lotus feet and having Path Namaskar. All of us have experienced it. Kissing his feet is always beautiful. I mean, we cannot forget the smell from the feet comes so beautifully as such. He never ever wore any footwear for any sports events during our time. I'm sure he has never worn it anytime in the future as such. That's the greatness of Swami. That's what
There
it's
were
all
some
about.
boys who would be running behind Swami with the slippers. That Swami, please wear it.
Swami would never, that's the best part of it as such. Right. Then came the next phase. You asking about the next phase. I'll just give the introduction of how the next phase came, and then Prabal can take over. Now, then the next task this was in our PG that this happened, the first PG.
Yeah,
The
sure.
next target for us was to have an inter-campus meet. Now, we were having, when we went to Brindavan, one of the summers, Swami used to take some of us, we were having some interactions. And then there was this Professor Ravi Shankar in Brindavan who was involved in sports. So we suggested, sir, we should have an inter-campus match, games between Brindavan campus and us. So we took a proposal to cut the whole, we took a proposal to write Gokak sir once more. And then Gokak sir said, okay, you work out. In that proposal, what happened, what we did was very smartly, we wrote that we will have some games in Vrindavan and some games in Parthi. So because the Parthi boys always wanted to go to Vrindavan, Bangalore and all. So this was one chance they thought that we can have. So even those days we were talking about home and away games, what we have in IPL now. So it was there at that time also. Then the proposal came, Swami said no. He said the games are to be held in Prashanti Nilayam. Now I understand why he said that he wanted the games in Prashanti Nilayam. And then the first inter-campus games came on, and then I think Prabal has got a wonderful story to go about sharing how the inter-campus games are there. That's how the inter-campus games came in.
So I would like Prabal Bhaiya and Srinivas now tell us the story of the first
Okay.
camp
So,
when. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
probably can I jump in?
Yes.
Okay. So after the intramural games, when the inter-campus game started, so the inauguration ceremony was being planned. Now we did it in a more of a hush-hush manner. Uh, there were some of us who had a background of, let's say, NCC and things like that. So we thought that we'll have a guard of honor when Swami comes. And there were no dresses. Remember, there was no NCC or NSS in Prashanti Nilayam. Although I know that there was some NSS and March Past, etc., which was done in the Brindavan campus during those days. So we came up with the concept of designing dresses for our students. And
Prabal Bhaiya,
our
just hold on for a
apparel
second. Just hold on for a
designer.
second. To our
Yes,
viewers, I'm going to throw a nice quiz
yes.
for them for now.
Okay,
As Brother Prabal is talking about it, I'm going to show you some pictures, and I would like if any one of you viewers to guess
sure.
about the dresses which he's wearing, which all of them are wearing. Please do write and share with us. So we'll continue the journey. So Prabal Bhaiya, please continue.
Yes, yes. Okay. So those days, our apparel designer was the Sai Karuna Tailors. So we went to his shop and we gave him idea that you have to stitch these dresses. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Okay. So we gave him an idea. So we got three, four types of dresses designed. And remember that village, he was of course a village tailor that time. That village tailor designed some of the most beautiful dresses of those days. And so that is how the guard of honor and the march past was planned. And remember, we had not mentioned this thing to any of the university authorities, nor was Swami aware of this physically. And then when Swami's car came that day, so our heart really went pit pat whether Swami will like it, will permit it or no, etc. But Swami took it in a stride. I mean, he took it as if he is the chancellor of the world and we are his soldiers. So he took everything in a stride and everything was so natural. I mean, he came, then he walked with the guards. He went and inspected the guard as it is done by any of the head of the states. And we had also planned for an 18 gun salute for Swami. And that gun was actually assembled by using an old trolley and trailer, which you can see here. And the people who are wearing these khaki dresses are the people who are taking care of the artillery. And we had a 18 gun salute, and everything was made by students themselves. And Swami was really very happy with that. And he in fact allowed boys to take Pad Namaskaram in the ground itself, which he really, even boys rarely do. And you can see the shells and everything. Now, the people who are wearing the white dresses, this was part of the guard of honor. And then you see the two people who are wearing those dark dresses, they are the escorts for Swami. So all this
This is
was
our
designed, and
Srinivas.
Swami
This is our
really
Srinivas
enjoyed
Rao
every
brother.
bit of it. And then
Yeah.
after Swami was escorted back to the, yes,
Prabal.
and one of those guards who's wearing the dark dresses with the white cap is Mr. Srinivas, and the other
Yeah.
gentleman is L. Koteshwar Prasad,
Yeah.
who was a batchmate of Srinivas. So after that,
Correct.
Swami was escorted back to the pavilion, and then the second part was we requested Swami to inaugurate the function by remote. So we had set up
Yeah,
certain rockets
let
which were
me
there
let me
placed
pause
in the
here.
center of the field, and
Prabal Bhaiya,
yeah.
I want
So
to get the answer
Swami
for
pressed the
people.
button. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
sorry. I want to tell that answer to people. Since you also have stopped that
Okay,
story,
please.
I want you to tell them that this dress, what they're seeing, is not all cloth. The cap, the belt, and all these straps are made up of cardboard and they are
Yeah.
painted.
Hmm.
And all was done with all the done was boys.
It was not a show
I
of money. It was
Yes,
not a
yeah,
you're
show of money.
absolutely
It was
correct.
economical and eco-friendly also.
and this tank was a kitchen, as he mentioned, a kitchen trolley, which was
Yes.
actually put upside down and then created this.
Yeah.
So it was so beautiful. Thank you. Please carry on.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just want
Yes,
to
you are
add
correct. You are
here.
absolutely correct.
Yeah, I was just want to add here
Yes.
that the students took what I would say the architectural and the engineering and the artistic skills all together to make this happen at every event and including sports events. So that's basically where we are trying to say that these boys were very talented, and they showed everything in the sports and just not academic. So this is basically the aggregation of all the skill sets. Over to you, Prabhalji.
Okay, so this is the place I was mentioning that Swami by a remote control. You see, Swami is just seeing at the remote control. So there was a remote, and with that, Swami fired the rockets, and that was the formal beginning of the sports. And after that, of course, it evolved into so many other ways of getting the inauguration, etc. done. But this is what was done that time. And what I want to add here is that all these things were not planned in advance, but they came on the spot. And as Abhimanyu was telling, even the dresses were made with whatever material we could lay our hands on. But Swami took everything in stride, and he was so natural, as if everything was pre-planned and things like that. And after that, it became a norm, and every sport meet in future had something different and more sophisticated and advanced as compared to the previous sports meet. And it was over a period of time, it became something great to have different shows, different events and things like that. For example, in the next sports meet, we even had motorcycle outriders who were actually dressed up in brilliant dresses. And then over a period of time, we had other students wearing fatigues, etc. So the entire thing evolved, and now I am sure, as all of you are aware, that now we have a world class event which goes on every year in Prashanti Nilayam. Thank you.
Can I join here, Abhimanyu?
Yes, please go on.
I have some very fond memories because I was fortunate to be part of the first ever Guard of Honor instituted and
Yes.
presented to Swami. And I must thank my elder brothers Ashok and Prabal sir for giving us this opportunity, because they used to take all the pains and the trouble to include as many students as possible to participate in every little activity that is there. And Swami was so happy to see us, as Brother Prabal was telling, that Swami actually, soon after the Guard of Honor was over and Swami was to ascend to this podium, Swami looked the happy faces. He was also happy, we were also happy. And he broke the protocol in a way. And he said, "Come on, take Namaskar." And I still vividly recall touching the feet, as Brother Ashok said, the feet that were not using any footwear, and it was all muddy, and the soil and the stones were there. And I still very vividly recall touching the Namaskar, yeah, that day. Very good memories of this. And Swami, was not like any chief guest or anything. Swami at all times is a relationship maintained as a devotee and God only. So after that was over, he ascended to the podium and then he started to enjoy the event.
I mean, if I can add here, right, one thing.
Yes.
Right, it's very. I mean, it strikes that we have to observe this part of it. Swami, whenever he was in the official programs, the program would always have a certain dignity and protocol. So he would never give namaskar in between.
Correct.
He would give namaskar to the students only after the program is over. But
over.
his love and his happiness of seeing this thing which was done by the students for the first time. You can't imagine a cannon being made, right? Nobody can imagine. We're talking about Puttaparthi, like Jayanth was very clearly stating, it was a village at that time, right? There was no facilities available. So
yeah, we had to go to Anantapur. We had to go to Dharmavaram or Anantapur to buy any small thing also,
Yes, right. And his love was, right, came out so spontaneous that he said, "Come, have namaskar then," right? Breaking off all the things that you would normally not do, right, in this thing as such. That's one beautiful thing that we all cherish about song.
So then it started when he lighted this
Games line,
Torch.
the games torch. I'll just tell
today,
about the games torch here.
Yeah.
So we had this huge, right, a tar right, what do we say, a tub-like thing, a big piece which was just lying waste in
Yes,
behind the hostel,
yes.
right? And then Prabal was in charge to get this done. So we did a trial run. So we put whether the tar thing is going to hold or not. So we put all the paper and all the rubbish in that and lit it, and we saw that it would stand. And then Prabal used it as the torch or the right game's lamp as such. Prabal, I think you can narrate that part.
That was the flame. That was the flame which was used.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and how the
And
torch.
just to add to that, so that was the flame for. Yes, yes. So that was the flame which was used for the games, and now you see the torch which is being lit by Swami. Now the torch also was made in the hostel, and it kept on evolving over a period of time.
Right.
And
Right.
then in the what we did is, after lighting the torch, we had one automatic mechanism by which from the center of the field we sent the torch up with the help of a pulley and metal wire up on the hill.
Yeah.
So Swami was, and all these things, Swami was enjoying like with childlike enthusiasm, because every
Yes.
time we used to keep on introducing some new feature as well as some new gimmick, and Swami used to love it. And he used to ask also, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And then the flame was from the field. Earlier it was in the field. Later the game's flame was put right on top of the hill, where the Hillview Stadium is written. On top of the hill also we had a flame, and in fact it used to keep on being lit for several hours together as long as the games were being held. And later it became a norm, and I'm sure it is being carried forward. So that's what I
Yes.
thought I'll just pitch in and add to what Professor
Very
Ashok was
nice.
saying.
I mean,
Beautiful.
if you would notice that, all right, the torch down that, all right, one small steel, all right, thing which is holding,
Yeah.
uh, that is the bell, the electric bell. We removed that, and that became a cap, and there was that hole for that electric bell,
Oh, nice
all
one.
right,
Good.
and then it got fixed up. That's how it was.
Yes.
We were able to hold it. Probably, I think, he has forgotten how we made that. So we had to remove the hostel bell.
Yes.
You remember we had that canteen bell outside,
Oh,
the
Yeah.
dinner
Yes.
bell. So that dinner bell was removed to make this right
Yes.
safe. The flame doesn't come down. Of course, that is all Prabal's idea.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
yeah.
As we say, we cannot
Yeah.
make
So
anything
actually, what
worthy
you
of
see, Swami.
Bhagwan.
Yeah. Sorry. Just a minute. I'll take.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. Please carry on.
Yeah. So what I was telling is, as Professor Ashok was describing that flame, the torch. If you see the bottom of the torch with Mr. Venkatesh is holding, that's actually a stump which we had cut into half.
Cricket
Cricket.
stump.
That's a cricket stump. On top is the cup of the electric bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now
And
it
on
makes
Okay.
sense.
top is a
That's
metal
Okay. Now
rod
I
on
got
which
it.
we have put some
Right. Right.
cloth pieces to light up as the torch.
See, with
okay.
So
money not
everything was jury
available.
rigged. Everything was, in fact, assembled.
And tested before it was
Yeah.
put for Swami, because we didn't want any mishap happening.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
Yes,
was
See
yes.
the
just thinking that
creativity
only
and
that,
Yeah.
we try to
Everything
make
was
things
tested
worthy
seven,
for
10 times.
Bhagwan, but the real worthiness comes when he accepts it.
Yeah.
When he
yes.
accepts, anything becomes worthy of him. And look at him, the simplicity of love and affection which boys have offered, he accepted and made it such a memorable thing for everybody.
Yeah.
And it has laid down the foundation for such a grand occasion today.
and that
So
was
let
the
us jump into
time.
our
Yeah,
yeah
just I
inter
will just to
campus.
add,
Correct.
that is
Yes.
when the stands came up after the annual sports happened. Then Swami said,
Hmm.
"No, these people are talking it as Hillview
Yes.
Stadium." Then the stands came up, and this stands came, and then Swami invited all the devotees,
Right.
to come and witness this event, which was there. This was the guard of honor. We had a band then also. It was not that there was no band. There was a band.
Yes.
Yes. And this was the football game in which all right, all of us are there, and all right, having a group photo with it. Swami was not very happy with us. after the game because we were all wearing shorts. And there is this thing that Swami afterwards in the evening went and expressed his unhappiness to the warden, saying that my students, your students, he would always address the warden as your students because he would put this thing on them. I say your students wore shorts and there were so many devotees, lady devotees were there. How can they go about doing it? So I will not have the prize distribution. There was no prize distribution in that first intercampus this thing. So Swami didn't come for that.
This is
So
1983, and
yeah,
yeah, I'd like to jump with her. So if you see here, this is me standing and Swami looking at my direction. I was in shorts. The situation was prior to that. There was shorts. There's no problem. The factors, when we were playing, there were so many devotees, and the ball was actually kicked towards the ladies' side, and it became a little bit uncomfortable. And Swami was a bit upset about the shorts in terms of the length of the shorts and so on. So here's a proof. But prior to that, I think Ashok also knows that, Ashok Ji also knows that this shorts were used in sports and the events were great and there wasn't any problem till Swami actually sent word that he was unhappy with the way the students behaved. And there was no prize distribution. And we received the prize probably what we use the word these days offline in the sense, not through Swami's hand, just so sent to us in the hostel and we just piled it, probably dejected because that was that additional photo that we wanted with Swami and that additional Pad Namaskar that we wanted in 83.
I think it's a good point for us to little bit highlight and share as to this transition from shorts to track pants, and why do you all think that Bhagwan wanted this transition to happen and how he made it happen?
yeah. I mean, you see, the whole concept of a Sai student is a picture perfect, right? As far as his outlook is concerned, his behavior is concerned to the outside world. And they are supposed to be in a particular decor. And I think that it did not fit into the mainframe of how a person, because Swami was very particular how we dressed, because we had to have full shirts on. Half shirts were also not allowed. All right, we all used to have full shirts and all covered up as such in front of the devotees. And if you remember, when we are in Prashanti Nilayam, we are not supposed to even lift our head and walk. We're supposed to keep our head down and walk. That is the way in which Swami wanted us to behave. And probably, I guess, that behavior of ours, which we took it for granted, because it was something which took it for granted. We had the basketball game in short. Swami was very happy, didn't do anything. And then we have the annual sports where Srinivas ran in shorts, nothing happened there. That's always a transformation and it has to have a big impact. Swami could have said that time only, but Swami will wait for the appropriate time for the message to be passed. Now the message, because at that time there were not many devotees. Here he made galleries for the devotees, and we are we are exhibiting. The Sai students are exhibiting to the whole world, and we cannot go about be on an unpresentable manner. I think then the message reached all of us. And that's how the message, and that's how transformation takes place in Swami's
Yeah.
case, in all the experiences that we have.
Can I join in, brother?
Yeah, please.
It's a very good message that you gave, and the whole world definitely believes and accepts. And even I agree that it was an uncomfortable situation wearing shorts. Prior to that, there was no issue. The other very interesting thing I wanted to mention is in 84, when after this soccer game, it's on the 85. I was, praying. I was with Swami along with some of the sports students, and when it came to certain characteristics of the games and all that, then I happened to say, Swami, the ground is full of stones. If you look at that stadium, it's next to a mountain. What do you get at the foothill of a mountain? Just pebbles, rocks, and small pieces. However much you level it is always. So I told Swami, it's so much of rocks. People are falling. Students are falling and bruising their legs and knees. So we need to do something. And then Swami said, That is why you should not wear shorts. You should wear full pants and run. There will be a protective pants like the track pants. So the protective pants, and that will prevent you from these bruises. So that is another way of Swami trying to tell us that, you have to protect yourself in sports. And that is one of the things that while rest of the world knows that, yes, this is basically what you want to project an image that you're not spoiling the aura of that Prashanti Nilayam, but also there is a safety piece. If you wear track pants, and that will prevent from additional injuries. I was also a goalkeeper of the institute. I also was wearing full sleeves, so that prevented me from bruising because Swami had seen some injuries on my arm and said from there on it became almost a respectful and a safety issue of wearing track pants. And if you're a goalkeeper, if you're diving, or if you're at a high risk, you wear full sleeves t-shirts. So just wanted to pitch in, and this seemed to be a very good memory that Ashok ji, you got back to me.
Well, I remember in '85, same time, Bhagwan had called after the sports next day, I think in the evening, behind the mandir near the Krishna statue. And he mentioned, he started telling the story of dress code. And there he said, boys understand in the olden times, they used to wear half pants, not knickers. So then he started explaining the size of the length of the knicker. The half pant is up to the knee, and then you have socks up to the knees, and then you wear a shoe. So that way you are covered and fully protected to play. But nowadays, people have lost a sense of maturity to understand which environment are you playing and all that. So be careful. But I think, as brothers were mentioning, so I think over the years, I think people had got enough indication from Swami, and that we switched on to the track pants. Yes, Srinivas brother, you wanted to join?
Brother Jayanth, this is the time to talk about, when you mentioned to Swami that all the boys are getting injured and all that, and then they said that the ground is not leveled. And that's when the Swami immediately called the Vice Chancellor and Registrar and everybody and took the action to level the grounds. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I'll definitely. Because thank you for reminding me. This is so impromptu, and it really fits into the story. If you look at every student took whatever was available to make and enhance that as a product, which means it's a electric bell or a broken cricket stump, and that's how it is. When I told that, Swami lifted that robe of his body, and he showed it and said, "Look, I can wear new robes every day, but this is stone. I got it stitched." All right. So, and then he put it, slide it down and said, Swami always thinks of students. I'm not doing anything for Swami's sake. That was the one thing. And I went back to the hostel so disappointed with myself that I told something that more like a complaint, but sometimes you lose track of your own self in the presence of Bhagwan that you become so spontaneous. I felt so bad. And whatever it was for that one day, I felt so bad. And within 48 hours, it's like 2 days, military was sent, and there was this General Mahadevan, and there were about 3 bulldozers leveling the ground. And everybody came and said, whoever in the interview room with me said, what? Swami told the way Swami said about the utility and all that, and you see how a miracle is happening. You're now having a military to completely level it, basically telling the same story that the seniors went digging, leveling with a hand roller, and now Swami is providing a set. What you did is now what is going to happen in future. And this is exactly what makes me feel that when there was a gym, a small gym in a room in the hostel, on the second floor, it was a small room. It was just some 3 or 4 dumbbells. And I remember when I was there, I was standing out, there were those students you just mentioned, and Swami asked, what is this room? Like, he pretended like he didn't know it. And then humbly somebody said, gym. And the way Swami mocks and laughs, and he says, Jimma. And so Jimma sounded like some mother of somebody, like Jimma. And then it became that catchword in our hostel that anybody would say, "Where are you going, Jimma?" So it simply means we are going to exercise. So this is basically how a transformation with such enthusiasm by the seniors, leveling the grounds. And once it became an impossible task because you're next to the foothill of a mountain, Swami then sends the military and then starts leveling. And this is where, again, I don't know if I can take one more minute here, but what at that time I felt was such a waste, I felt personally, is there was a road along the whole field. And that is when some of us were saying, you put a tar or asphalt road just for no reason. That same money, it was thousands of rupees. Those days, thousands of rupees was a lot of money. We could have had a cricket pitch and a side screen. Side screens are basically those screens in the cricket pitch. We were thinking, why is that useless road around the field when we could have had a cricket stadium with a side screen? That's all we were planning for. But years later, and I have to tell you about this, that years later I found even the president of the country, and that was also used as a helipad or red carpet welcome, and that road was used for all events, including the 60th birthday celebration for more than 1 million devotees, where Swami went on that procession. So it did not make sense to me at that time, where we were saying, who is going to use this, a tar road as a track and field event? But that's the beauty, that Swami's plans for the future without our understanding. But we got an opportunity of cleaning up that roads. We got that opportunity.
Unfortunately, we can't see the future like what Bhagwan does.
And that is basically today. I know I probably would have complained there was only 3 dumbbells and one contractual of a Roman rings from the ceiling, and that is from the fan. I'm pretty sure Prabal was instrumental on creating all those Roman rings and from the ceiling fans for us to do exercise. Today, we have an international gym sitting on the next one. We didn't have that facility. But the greatness is we paved way, and as the seniors, and then the greatest part is Swami was with us at all those moments, and that's something that I wanted to share it with you.
Wonderful. Brothers, before we jump into the next section of individual, how Bhagwan, conveyed, encouraged each and every sport individually, how he's to come in different odd hours and what did we learn, may I request Srinivas brother to at least give us another bhajan. There are a lot of people asking here on the site. They want to hear one bhajan break. So why don't we have a bhajan from you, and then we'll continue with our discussion slightly.
Surely, just give me a little time. I'll put my Shruti on. I'll sing a very, very simple bhajan. There is no need to follow or play any beat for this.
Yes.
मन एक बार हरि बोल, मन एक बार हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि बोल, मन एक बार हरि बोल। हरि पिता हरि माता, हरि पिता हरि माता, हरि गुरु ज्ञान दाता, हरि गुरु ज्ञान दाता, चिदानंद रूप हरि पतित पवन, मन एक बार हरि बोल। चिदानंद रूप हरि पतित पवन, मन एक बार हरि बोल, मन एक बार हरि बोल।
So nice. Thank you so much.
So clear.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I think the bhajan changes the whole, mood of thinking. So let us jump into a different section. I wanted to hear your stories about Bhagwan coming to watch sports at odd hours. That also we have a very good memories. And just to encourage the boys, and we'll go and invite him and he'll come. Any memories, any thoughts from that side?
Sairam, do you want me to jump in or?
Anybody, just
I just want to, yeah,
make it
this is
short
very
and
good.
sweet. And
Yeah, I just
yeah,
wanted to mention about the, year 1986. Basically, by now, this game sports was an integral part of a student's life, became mandatory sports, and it was part of your certification. It's part of your curriculum. So things are becoming so great. I have a moment where Swami wanted to come for a campus game, intra-campus games, which is basically a volleyball game between Puttapati students and Prashanti Nilayam. That was the clash and the rival. These are the two different schools or the colleges, and Swami was supposed to come. Well, Swami, we can't say Swami was supposed to come because it was, everybody knows that that is a game. It was so cloudy, and typically the games are supposed to start by 4:30, but because it became cloudy, the physical director, and there was one more coach from a military. Swami had actually sent this military coach by name Kishan Lal, everybody knows. So he was the one who, got into our early event on that day and said, let's start early. And the best part was, it started drizzling and then slowly started pouring. And a very good event here, which I may have a video clip on this, where Swami
yes,
came into
you
the
can
ring.
show it.
Yeah, you can show. I'll just give a background. Look at the audio before thing, and Swami was so much engrossed. And this is where he said, he asked the students, what game is this? And then the boy said, volleyball. Volley means, this, you can hear the dialogue basically going on this Sugriva's brother Wali. And at every stage, Swami was enjoying the moment. It was such a precious moment. It's not a photograph, but a video. And I was the volleyball captain of Prashanti Nilayam. I'm there in the game. And we had several of the brothers. You can see the camera covered with towel. It was raining. So on to you.
It was sometime in the evening, I think, Mr. Jayanth.
Yeah, correct. Evening.
4 o'clock,
yeah,
I think.
4 o'clock. Yeah, but
You
I
can
think
see
the
it's
audio.
misty. It's misty also there, shower.
Yeah, and you can't hear the audio very clearly.
Yeah.
But you see,
It's on the
I'm here.
signs on the wall.
This is what football has been getting signed, or volleyball getting signed.
Volleyball getting signed. I'm in the blue T-shirt, and Swami signing, and I am telling something which is very meaningful here. The audio is not clear. Where I said, Swami, thank you for coming, and Swami was like, hey, go play. Almost like saying, who are you to thank the chancellor? I'm here to come. And that's basically the next scene. After he signs, I tell something, and Swami says, go play. And here is, go play. So, who am I to thank Swami or invite Swami? He's there and he's the one. This is one of the great messages. And the best part was raining. You can see everybody were wearing shoes, but I was a captain. I knew the strategy of this game. My shoes had a lot of foam in the sponge. It absorbed water, so I kept it aside because it became heavy. And the best part is this beautiful art. The next day, Swami was telling, everybody had shoes. You're the only student who did not have shoes.
Wow, what observation, my God.
Yeah, I was totally surprised. And then I did not want to tell Swami that was a strategy, but that was a different story. And Swami pointed out that you were the only one.
Cameraman with a cover.
Yeah, it was raining, and we won. And the best was 3 games were played. It was a best of 5 games. The 4th game, Puttapati team again won. 5th game, the best part is we let the Vrindavan campus won. Swami was thrilled. Oh, at the end there were 2 students, 2 teams, and both are winners, and that's what Swami wanted. So again with the shoes, how he observed, how he noticed every individual. And the part here is, even in the rain, he loved to come. He wanted to watch us play. He was part of it, and it was a part where every moment was so something that we had to live and live with for the rest of our life. So this was a good short clipping, but the video was not clear. Otherwise, Swami's beautiful anecdotes and some short, interesting.
I know he would keep sitting on the game till both team becomes equal. That that also was an issue.
And the respective house captains go to the mandir and plead with Swami, Swami, please come for this game, for that game, like that. Likewise, even Swami came to see one of the cricket matches also. Can I join here and tell an anecdote about that?
Yes, please tell about the cricket
It's
match.
a wonderful instance. Swami came to watch a cricket match between Vrindavan and Puttaparthi. And Swami sat on the stage, and our registrar Chakravarti, as usual, was our umpire. He's a very good cricket player from the Oxford University. He represented Oxford or Cambridge, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. And he was the umpire, and Swami witnessed 1 over of the match. Swami sat, and one brother was in Vrindavan. The other brother of his elder brother was in Puttaparthi campus. So Vrindavan was bowling, and Puttaparthi was batting. And the brother of, there are 2 brothers, one Shankar from Vrindavan and Ramakrishna from Puttaparthi. This brother Shankar was bowling to brother Ramakrishna, own brothers, they are brothers. And Swami saw at the end of the over, on the 6th delivery, the brother bowled his own brother, clean bowled. And at that point, Swami got up. And as soon as Swami got up, we who invited Swami, if Swami is not going to be there, what will we do? We all broke the protocol and rushed towards Swami's car. See, this is all. Everybody does everything for Swami. We were not playing the match for ourselves, just to please Swami, so that Swami comes and sees. And Registrar Chakravarti sir was very upset, but afterwards we requested him to forgive us this misbehavior or other. He was very stickler to rules and discipline. But that's how Swami came. And in the evening, when the match was over, we all went to this thing in the mandir. Swami saw this Ramakrishna seated next to me, and he immediately remarked, "Hey, your own brother clean bowled you. Nee own brother ninna out chesadu." And one more little instance, during the course of this 1 over that Swami watched, Swami apparently passed a very interesting remark to the Vice Chancellor seated next to him. He said, in every game, if you see, it is the players who chase the ball or the ball comes towards them. But in this game of cricket, I feel it very strange that the ball is somewhere and the 2 players are running across the 22 yards pitch. Why is it that these people throw the ball somewhere and run this side? It's a very, very wonderful observation. I love this observation of Swami. And so Swami, but somehow I can say that Swami never enjoyed the cricket match as such. But for all that you say, it is Swami who had the spirit of unity cricket match and inviting all the international players on one stage in the cricket ground there.
I think that was for the encouragement for the students, because boys loved it, so he allowed it.
Yes.
But Srinivas brother, that story actually really gives me a puzzle. Like what a strange observation.
True.
That in rest of the games you chase the ball for which you are playing, and in this game you throw the ball away and keep running.
Yes. Swami wanted something very funny. Very true, but
very interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
again to the Swami's point, the action in other games is every player is totally involved at all the time. While in cricket, there are only a few players on the ground. The rest of them wait for their turn to go into the ground. So that was another one where Swami is wondering, why are you not playing? He asked one of the students, Swami, someone has to be out so that I can go in. So this is how this observation of how Swami, puts it in such a way that how he wants interaction between the teams at every level, the alertness, and then keeps asking these questions on cricket. Why are you sitting here? Should you be playing there? And this is basically a good reminder for me and a segue on this cricket.
Let me
And,
ask you another thing. How about the teachers' involvement? When did that start?
oh, I think it was during my time. And I told you after this
No, I
volleyball
think it was
match.
before. Ashok,
No,
wasn't it before that?
Yeah, there
During the
was
same
this one.
inter-campus time.
Right, there was one event during the first inter-campus games where he had the musical chair for the professors, and then professors were so enthusiastic in pleasing Swami. You know, everybody does that. I mean, you have to go about getting some attention from Swami, and I think one of the senior professors also went to the extent of pushing someone to get into the chair. Swami observed at a later period and pointed it out to him. I wouldn't dare mention his name, because he's a very senior person, right? But you know, senior or no senior, right? They were basically, you know, you want Swami's attention, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Swami's
In front of
attention.
Swami,
Swami's
everybody
gaze, yeah,
becomes a child.
yes.
And you can do
So
anything for Swami. That's allowed.
uh, yeah, during our time, that was the first, because that was the first event as such in front of Swami and the intercampus. We did have the musical chair, and then Swami really enjoyed it. You know, he used to. You should see. I think some of the photographs are there on this thing where Swami is just laughing away, enjoying, pointing fingers, and enjoying the games. You know, like any spectator, right? I mean, just watching Swami is a bliss for us, right? Those
Tug of
expressions
war,
and all.
tug of war was very common. The students and
Yeah.
the staff on one side, and Swami used to really enjoy watching that. And then also the lemon and spoon race. Uh, once, if you, it is a very interesting race in the among the staff members, senior staff members. And one of the senior staff members, I will name him because I have a very high regard for Professor Nanjundaya. Professor Nanjundaya took part in that race, and Swami was so eager to see who is going to win. And the lemon and spoon race, the rule is that if the lemon falls, you are out of the race. But Professor Nanjundaya was leading the race. At some stage, the lemon slipped, and he just picked it back and put it on the spoon, and he won the race. And I remember there is one photograph of Swami pointing out, "Hey!" from that stadium podium itself. But you know, Professor Nanjundaya, the devotee, he is a wonderful devotee. Swami, like you know, an opportunity to touch your feet and get any prize from your hands. For that, he did it, and Swami was so happy. I'll never forget that. There are pictures of that Swami indicating, "Hey, you did this." But and to see even the
Prabal Bhaiya, do
devotee
you have
play.
memories? Prabal Bhaiya, do you have any memories of Teachers Sports Day with Bhagwan?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
He has some delay in
So, in
hearing,
fact,
so.
those days, yeah. So, in fact, not only the teaching staff, but during these staff sports meets, even staff who are working in the ad block and others who are working in the press, etc., they were also involved. And later, when I also was doing my research, apart from the student sports, we also were involved in the staff sports. And I vividly remember there was one, of course, now the gentleman has merged with Swami. There used to be one Professor Kuppu Swami.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and yeah, he was enormously built. So he also, in fact, Swami called him also, and he was so enthusiastic in participating in the races as well as fast walk and things like that. And in fact, it was an opportunity. Even my professor, my late Professor Mahajan, he also.
Oh, my God, he is.
Yeah, I think,
Yes.
he missed it out. Yeah, that's exactly what the enthusiasm and that volley also means tail. How Swami was enjoying everything and, you know, bringing him those words that typically anybody else would have been offended, but we just embrace those words, lovely words when Swami called us Koti, which means monkey in volleyball. Or Donnapota for fat boy. Sorry, Ashok bhai, I didn't mean anything offensive here, but these are all the lovely comments Swami used to give. Prabal ji has joined back. I think he wants to
Yeah.
continue that story.
We
Please,
should
Prabal.
continue. Yes.
Yes, Prabal Bhaiya.
Yes. So what I was saying is that once this staff sports meet was on, each and every staff member participated very enthusiastically. They used to look forward towards it, and they used to look forward to winning prizes and getting Pad Namaskaram from Swami, and also receiving presents from Swami as well as certificate. So it became a very normal thing, and everybody was in it. And Swami also used to enjoy specifically the games in which staff used to participate. So I have very vivid memories of those days, and even all staff members used to enjoy every bit of it. Thanks.
Apart from these staff sports, we should also mention about the backdrop boys who participate in their own way for the electrical lightings and the acoustics and the decoration
and
boys.
and the
All of
decorations
them
and
get
the
an
props.
opportunity to take a photograph with Swami. They also get their namaskar. Swami recognize all their efforts actually, and it's really wonderful to see. Even bhajan group, Veda group, all these are part and parcel of the total package that sports meet is.
Right. I see. I just want to bring an interesting anecdote here, because when Swami is there in the playground, almost everybody wants to come to the ground, right? But students were irrespective of that, they would prepare the ground for Swami to come. So I just want to bring a quick narration, and you can, feel free to stop me, because now Prabal has joined, but I will complete this narration. That after our first game with the inter-campus game with volleyball in 86, 85 also we had 86, 87 also we continued. And this is when the Swami had come to the ground, and he had noticed that it was, not a balanced game, because you had undergraduate students playing with the postgraduate students, and, that had such a imbalance of the sports, and there were not many people there, because Swami suddenly gave surprise visits where we are playing some game like volleyball or football, and he used to watch. But then, there was that year, Swami was also very upset, and this time it was upset with the teaching staff. And then there was this historic discourse in 1987, and Swami said to all the teachers and professors and the non-student group, saying that you professors and people always come to the ground when Swami comes. These boys are working so hard to do what they can please Swami. They clean the ground, they make the arrangement. These are the people who put all this electricity, the poles, the decoration to please Swami, and enjoy the moment with Swami through sports and games. But what are you doing? Where is the leadership quality that you are bringing when you are not even ensuring that it is not fair for seniors or the postgraduate students to play against the undergraduate? For me, all boys are one. All events are one. I don't want to see that they are Vrindavan students and they are Bhakti students. Where are you inculcating? So this is one beautiful change he brought in, where the inter-campus was not anymore rivalry, but actually a friendship sports. Also on the events.
Yeah, he didn't want to have the word competition, I believe. Yes, Ashok Bhaiya?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I just reminds when Jayanth has stated this, when we conceptualized the inter-campus, there were three teams. All right. Prasanthi Nilayam had two teams. One was the UG and then the PG, and then the Brindavan campus. This is how the structure was built, and it continued for whatever period it had to continue. But I am just reminded. I was just going through in the morning, and I saw this 2003 January 14. Swami gave a discourse on the sports event, and he said, in all the sports event and all the games, the players play for prizes and to win. My students, Sai students, play to please Swami.
Please, Swami.
That's it, right? It's such a beautiful, it summarizes the whole thing. Whether I win or lose, I'm going to get a Pad Namaskar from Swami. I'm going to get a photograph from Swami. right? Irrespective of anything. That's why, prize distribution was not a big event, right? It
Correct.
never was a very
Yeah.
big event at all, all right, as such. And students were never interested. Only I was so passionate to keep all those certificates because Swami had given me. I'm sure that some of my friends or classmates and the others might not have been bothered to keep it because it was not received from Swami. I received it from Swami, so therefore it's a treasure for me, and I keep it. Now, this beautiful message, which says, my students play to please Swami. Right? That
Correct.
sums
Yes.
up the whole thing, from Swami himself. I think subsequently they were saying that the games and the competition itself were got changed into another format.
Right.
I mean, you might be a bit, I mean, a part of that part.
Yeah,
Just
now then it became sports and
Correct.
cultural event rather than a competition, you know.
Yes.
Small bit.
Absolutely.
Just if you don't mind, I want to continue the small bit. When Swami gave that historical speech, then we had several professors go to the ground as early as 6 in the morning. When when the prior to the these games and sports event, we had a new diet because there was things that Swami said, no, these boys are going so early. So there was the first time where we were having sprouts, the bean sprout and peanuts sprout early morning, and we used to have what's called porridge. That was one of the best things we used to have early morning. That was something that was invigorating in saying who would get up after immediately after Supravatam, run to the ground and be part of the march past, the drill, and those things. It was that peanuts, the sprouts, moong and all that sprouts, and that porridge, the warm porridge. We used to sit, drink, and then say, okay, now let's go to the ground. And then we had the chancellor, the vice chancellor Saraf also there. Then there were a few professors who were teaming up to say, okay, what is this event? And Swami not only came for the finals. Remember one thing that Swami used to come for rehearsals. He used to watch us even on the march past. He wanted to make this. That was something encouraging. Swami never came to the last minute like as a chancellor and saying, okay, now let's the sports begin. He was there at every event, and that makes this more beautiful and more, subtle for all of us.
I'm just reminded before I ask you certain questions, I'm reminded, especially for the gymnastic boys, Swami would say, my boys are putting on too much of effort, so they should get extra food. So gymnastic boy had a
Yeah.
different counter in the hostel, and we could eat as much as we wanted. And that was like
Yeah.
a,
Absolutely.
you remember, we used to have so many chapatis and all that, just because Swami said my gymnastic boys are like working too hard. And then I think later on, band boys got included in that group.
Right.
So that group became bigger. So
And
eating group.
Correct.
Since you mentioned gymnastics, all right, the first gymnastic
Correct.
photograph, I think I shared it with you,
Yes,
Abhimanyu.
yes.
There are, all
Yeah.
right, with Swami as such. Now, these were boys who did the first gymnastic show, and Swami came just for them to see. All right, it was in the college quadrangle, right, which was held, and where, all right, little bit of gymnastics.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Mr. Venkatesh, the physical director, was a very good gymnast as well as a football player and a volleyball player. So this is the photograph, right, of the gymnastics, and that was late evening. Swami had come to see the gymnastics. So the concept of gymnastics was introduced in '83 itself, right? So people getting into gymnastics and all those things,
It became
and
professional later on.
yeah, it became pro. I just wanted to about that porridge thing. Now, who introduced porridge? It was Nityanand sir who asked us, the kitchen boys, that in the morning after Suprabhatam, the rava porridge has to be served. So that's how the rava porridge started into the kitchen, and had to ensure that the rava porridge was served, and there used to be a porridge bell also. After the Suprabhatam, there used to be a porridge bell that the porridge is ready, and then you can come and have porridge. So
Excellent.
right, yeah, that's
Okay, brothers,
just
let me ask you final questions
Yeah.
before we closed for today, because these stories are beautiful and we can continue sharing Bhagwan's love, like, with no limits. Uh, just as a final word, I would like to hear from all of you. You have seen Bhagwan in such a close proximity, taking sports as one of the developmental milestones which Bhagwan not only encouraged, but he enthusiastically participated in many times, and it became a part of our growth. What what messages do you carry, or what learning curves you feel you adopted by looking at Bhagwan's interaction? So I open this floor and just final words from all of you. So we can start, say, with Jen, brother. Start off.
Oh, Sairam, thank you. Yeah, as I told you, this whole narration and bringing back this nostalgic memory, beautiful memories. I can only say how Swami was integral part, and opened up this activity of sports as an integral and mandatory and compulsory part and parcel of every student being. So I just wanted to tell you one thing. There is a photograph where I'm receiving a trophy, and at every stage, if you can play that, show the photograph, it is basically Swami holding, if you don't mind, if you can, otherwise I will just
Yeah,
continue.
carry
Basically,
on,
yeah,
Alpin.
actually, here is a chancellor. If you look at the physical term, the physical world, and he's giving a trophy. And one of the trophies where he gave me as an individual for the volleyball, this is the championship. He held my hand from his hand behind the trophy held, and instead of saying congratulations, congratulations, he said manchi pani, good job. And that's probably what I'm carrying all over. I'm taking it even now today, that when I come to USA, Chicago, when I see my kids, paper statement and that smiley face where a teacher writes, good job, manchi paneer, I'm only reminded of Swami that message of doesn't matter what you won, what you lost, but you participated and you made this moment so moving forward. So I would always like to thank my seniors who took this as a part of their life and transformed it. And today, when I remember, I'm always looking at the future, saying that these future boys have all the facilities, all the Roman gym, the parallel bars, and all that. But those days we used chairs, we jumped over chairs, we used a rope, and pleased Swami, and that's exactly what everybody is recollecting, that we played to please Swami. And I'm all going back and thanking everybody that today I'm getting this opportunity to tell the whole world that this chancellor took every aspect of what a student has to be and fulfill our dreams. And thank you very much, Saira.
Thank you. Srinivas, brother Srinivas, your views.
Yeah, actually, what appealed most to me is the enthusiasm Swami shows for the sports from morning to evening. It starts at 7 o'clock in the morning with the procession and the receiving of Swami in the chariot. It started with a small little guard of honor, but then it developed into such a big event with the reception of Swami in a chariot, and then the whole of the 45 minutes of March Past Swami sits through. And then the event in the morning, then the event in the afternoons also. Swami comes back with the rest of just about 2 to 2.5 hours. Not only this, in the morning session, when the program is over, say 2.5 hour program, all when Swami goes back to the mandir, all the students in their costumes rush back to the mandir. After all this, Swami gives another opportunity for them to take a photograph in their costumes, because in here on the stage Swami is just seeing, but Swami has not taken a picture with them. So all these boys go there, and the same thing happens in the morning as well as in the evening. Another quick namaskar, a quick photograph group wise. So the enthusiasm and energy, and Swami used to say, what energy you people have at this age. At this age, if you run with me a 100-meter dash, I will beat you. Swami's energy was such. And then the second most important thing, with this I will conclude, is that Swami's everything had small, humble beginnings, but it grew into something very, very unimaginably big. And Swami was equally receptive and accepting whatever was given to him at each stage. It started with a simple thing, and Swami was happy with that. I'm just reminded of one little what you call episode from the Shirdi Ke Sai Baba Hindi movie, in which the sadhu, who comes to Swami, Shirdi Baba says, why have you left your whole family and took up sannyasi? This is not according to the truth. You should sacrifice your worldly life only for the truth, and not running away from the family. Then the sadhu asks Shirdi Baba, how different are you then? And Shirdi Baba then shows his true form to him, which is the Vishwarupa darshan he has of the Krishna and all. Then the sadhu says, oh Bhagavan, you are the very avatar of Krishna. Krishna lived in palace. Why is it that you are wearing ragged clothes and dirty cloth and sitting like this in one corner? Then Shirdi Baba says that मैं तो भक्तों का वश में हूँ. Whatever my devotees give to me, I accept. Today, if they give me torn clothes, I will wear those. Tomorrow, if they give me silken clothes, कल मुझे रेशम के कपड़े पहनाएंगे तो मैं वो भी पहनूंगा. So likewise, if you see how Bhagwan moved with the times, whatever was offered to him, he gleefully blessed everybody with that. This is the beauty of Swami, and see what it has grown into. It's an international event as important as a birthday celebration. From where to where it went.
Okay, Brother Ashok.
Yeah, I'll just basically put a different. Thanks for Srinivas to give me a clue when he mentioned Vishwarupa avatar. Now, what's a Vishwarupa? Vishwarupa, is a form where everything, the whole of the creation, can be seen in Krishna. That's the Rupa he showed. Now, I always used to wonder, once we leave Swami's portal and Swami is busy with sports, etc., what happens to the devotees who are not physically present? Now, I make a prayer, you make a prayer, everyone makes a prayer from different parts of the world. There is Swami with the games, playing with the games relating to that. At the same time, there are devotees all across praying to him and he's answering. So that's what divinity is all about. It's not about Swami being in Puttaparthi. Swami being everywhere. He's answering every call, right? We are all the time thinking that Swami is with us. I mean, I was thinking at my school, college days, Swami is here, Swami is Puttaparthi, Swami is Vrindavan, Swami is watching the game. But Swami is actually blessing all of us because there are people far away and praying to him. So that's the real divinity. That's why Swami is God, right?
Beautiful.
And I fully state that whenever a prayer is called for, he will answer, irrespective of what physical form he was busy, at all. And then lastly, I had actually, because it was 1960, there is one beautiful message Swami gave in the 1960. I would like to read it out. And it actually talks about what Swami is. This is a message which Swami has given to all the delegates. I'm taking this, I'm reading it from the delegate book issued by Swami to all the delegates. And this is a copy of my father. And he left it for me. I'm reading it. This is 23rd November 1985, 60th year of the advent of the avatar. Quote, in this avatar, the wicked will not be destroyed. They will be corrected, reformed, and educated, and led back to the path from which they have strayed. The white ant infested tree will not be cut, it will be saved. This avatar is for bhaktas, the aspirants, the sadhus, and the sadhakas only. It has no japa, dhyana, or yoga. It knows no worship. It will not pray to anything, for it is the highest. It only teaches you to work, to worship and pray. Quote Swami. Now, if you see this beautiful message of Swami describes the whole manifestation of Swami. And I always stated whenever people ask me this question, what did you learn from Puttaparthi and what it is? I said, that's a normal life you lead over there. There are no practices that you have to follow. There are discipline. There is a procedure. That is, there is Nagar Sangeeta, and then for Suprabhatam, Omkaram, Suprabhatam, Nagar Sangeeta, and Bhajan. Swami was there, Darshan, and then again Darshan, Bhajan. And we were never asked in our hostel days, just for the benefit of all the other listeners, we were never asked in our hostel day to go about doing some practices and all. It was just an open, like any other college, but it had the divine, because he said, I am here to transform, correct you. All right. Even the wicked of us is going to be corrected. And Swami, all right, our prayers, your blessings on us. Sai Ram. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I think Prabal Bhaiya is having some problem in the connection. So I know the story of sports will continue because there is another chapter from higher secondary school, then you have our primary school and others. So hopefully we'll have other brothers who will join us to continue this saga of sports and how it has grown in their time. So if Prabal Bhaiya doesn't come back, so we have to close it. So in the end, may I request Brother Srinivas Rao to close this session with
Before
another beautiful
before the
bhajan.
song, right? Can I just add one word, Abhimanyu?
Sure,
I would
sure.
like to, all right, Abhimanyu. I would like to express my thanks for having me on this chat. And you had called me 3 times. It was really wonderful. And all right, as a younger brother of mine, I say, please you're doing, so that these lovely messages of Swami and what the students enjoyed reaches to the world, and it is recorded, and it is going to be there in perpetuity, as right, it's on the web as such. Please continue doing this, and thank you very much.
It's all Swami's grace, Bhaiya. But no problem. Let's hear some Srinivas Bhaiya. Please.
Yeah, I think I remembered a very good song as Brother Ashok was talking about the glory of Avatar. So I think the song fits in very beautifully for this ending session.
Srinivas.
Yes,
Srinivas
brother.
Bhaiya.
Yeah,
1 second. I think Prabal Bhaiya has joined. So we'll
yes,
hear his last word and then bhajan. After
yeah,
bhajan, we won't talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Prabal Bhaiya, your final words of any learning, any message you want to convey from the sports aspect or whatever of Bhagwan. Sorry, we can't hear you still.
Yeah, you will.
I think where he is, he has always this internet issue there. So, but I'm grateful that he could, make time and effort to come and join us.
Can you?
Yeah,
Yes,
please
Prabal Bhaiya.
continue.
Hello.
Just few words from your side. Oh no.
He's from Pondicherry. I wonder why
Yeah,
this
and he's
problem.
yeah. I guess.
Yeah,
Prabal
yeah.
Bhaiya, can you hear us?
Can you?
No, you have still some issues. Okay, so we will come back to him if he comes back. Srinivas Bhaiya, all yours, please. Sorry.
अंतरंग साई अनाथ नाथ साई अंतरंग साई अनाथ नाथ साई दीनबंधु साई करुण सिंधु साई दीनबंधु साई करुण सिंधु साई अंतरंग साई अनाथ नाथ साई राम कृष्ण शिव शक्ति प्रेम रूप साई राम कृष्ण शिव शक्ति देव रूप साई युगावतार बाबा श्री सत्य साई युगावतार बाबा श्री सत्य साई अंतरंग साई अनाथ नाथ साई थैंक यू
Thank you all very much. On behalf of Prabal sir, I apologize to everybody. Unfortunately, because of his internet connection, he could not give his last message. But I thank every one of participants, brothers, for coming and sharing. I offer my grateful pranams to Bhagwan
Wow.
for this beautiful opportunity to all of us to come and relive those moments and feel blessed. I want to convey everybody that these videos will be available on our channel. So please feel free to watch, share, and spread this loving message with everybody. Thank you once again. Sairam, brothers. Sairam very much.
Sairam, thank you.
Thank you
Sairam,
so
Sairam,
much.
Thank you.
Sairam,
Sairam
thank
to
you.
everybody.
Sairam.